Today's Pump House Regional Arts Center take-home clay project will be a mounted shark. My name is Scott and I teach ceramics at the Pump House Arts Center located at 119 King Street in downtown La Crosse. Please visit our website at www.thepumphouse.org for more information on our classes. Now, in today's take-home kit, you should have a block of clay, a plastic knife, a wooden craft stick, a wooden skewer, a bag of slip, which is just watered down clay. We're going to use that as glue, and a wooden mounting board. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to take your block of clay and your plastic knife, and you're going to cut off two of the corners on this block of clay. So you're going to choose one corner, you're going to cut it off like that, and then you're going to go to the very opposite corner, just right across from it, and you're going to cut that one off. So you can go ahead and cut those corners off. Set that clay off to the side, cut the opposite corner off, set that off to the side. So what you should end up with is your block of clay should now have 6 sides to it. And what you want to do next is you want to place that block of clay in the palm of your hand and give it a squeeze down the length of the clay and keep going. And what you want to do is you want to make a basic carrot shape. So you're going to have one kind of wide end and the other one is going to become narrower. So you want a stubby, thick carrot shape. You don't want to go too thin or too long with this because, well, remember it has to fit on your mounting board, and your shark should have some heft to him, so you don't want to make it too thin. Once you have that done, you can place the clay down. You can flatten it a little bit. Just a little bit. And you want to take your thumb and you want to push down in the center of the clay near the end, and then just keep pressing with your thumb all the way down the center of your clay until you get to almost the end of the narrow tip. If your clay starts to crack, you just smooth that out. It's no big deal. And then you do it again. Keep pressing down. You don't want to go through the clay. You just want to form an indentation. So if you go over it 3 times, that should be good. So you want it to look like a little canoe. Once you have that, you're going to flip that clay over, and you'll see where it was sitting on the table, it's flat, and then you see the side and this corner right here, you want to smooth that out. Smooth that out. And then you can take your fingers and pinch along that edge. And now basically this is the shark body. And you'll see up at the wider end that if there's a point, you want that point to push up a little bit. That's going to be the nose of the shark. So if your clay doesn't have a point at all, then you want to make a blunt point. Down here is going to be the mouth of the shark, like that. And way over here, and we can pinch it a little bit narrower down here. This is going to be the tail of the shark. So at this point, you want to take your knife, and at the narrow end of your shark, you want to put in a cut about like that. And of course, that's going to be the tail. And over here, where you know you're going to have your mouth, you're going to take your plastic knife and you're just going to cut into the clay like that. You'll see that's where the mouth is going to be. So now basically we have to work on the fins and some other details, the eyes and the teeth. So we're going to do that in the very next video. Okay, so here we have our shark body. And what I'm going to do with this one is, you can see the tail is pretty thick. It should be thinner. So I'm going to flatten out the tail a little bit and separate those two tail fins. I want to fill this area in a little bit with clay. So you take the clay that you have left over and you just make a little ball or a little wedge-shaped piece, and you're going to just tuck that in there, smooth it out, flatten it a little bit, like that. Now at this point, I'm going to add some fins. So let's take a little piece of clay and roll it into a ball. Flatten it a little bit, and then pinch it into a fin shape. And we're going to work on the dorsal fin, and the dorsal fin is the fin that goes up atop here. And I realized after watching the first video that my chair squeaks quite a bit, so if you hear a strange noise, that'll be my chair. Okay, so we want a dorsal fin that looks like that. Now, we're going to attach it onto the top of the shark here, but we're going to use the slip that you have, and you're going to open up that bag of slip, take your craft stick, and just scoop out a little bit of that. Again, it's just clay, so it's not going to do anything. First, what you might want to do is take your wooden skewer, and on the bottom of that dorsal fin where you're going to attach it, just make a few scratch marks. Just roughen that up. That'll help the clay to stick to each other after you put on the slip, which you're going to spread on just like frosting. And then you're going to attach the fin to the shark. Now you should see some of that slip ooze out from underneath that fin. And that's what you want to see. That can all be smoothed away. So as long as it's on there, it wants to come off yet. It has to set a little bit, and then it'll be very hard to take that off. On a shark, there is another dorsal fin behind there, and it's smaller than the first one. So make another little dorsal fin, put a few scratch marks in the bottom of that, add some slip, and place the second dorsal fin on your shark. Just like that. Now, we need a pectoral fin. The pectoral fin is the one that comes out from the side here. So it's just going to be just like the dorsal fin you made, maybe a little more blunt. But one end will be a little pointy, the other much more flat. Take your wooden skewer, make a few lines, not too deeply, just a few lines. Put on the slip, and then the dorsal fin is going to be put on right about there. Just like that. And on a shark, there are 2 more fins underneath, and they get very small. The first one is probably a little bit smaller than the second dorsal fin. So we're going to put that on, use a little slip, and this will go right under here. I think I have that on camera. And then one really small little fin very close to the tail underneath the shark. That's going to go right back here. So now you got to be kind of careful that you don't bump these off because they will come off, but you can just glue them back on, so don't worry about that. From here, we want, of course, a mouth for our shark. So right around this cut that you've made, you're going to just kind of draw a line around like that. And you can take away a little bit of that rough clay that kind of gets pushed out of that line. And you're just going to take your wooden skewer and you're just going to kind of create some teeth. Making lines. And some jagged teeth. You know, sharks' teeth tend to be a lot of them, and they're not straight, so you don't worry if your shark's teeth are all crooked. They should be. Okay. So now we have some teeth made like that. Can open up the mouth a little bit. And then we have to place the eye. So the eye is just going to be using your wooden skewer, and you're going to poke a hole right through your shark, and that's going to be the eye. Now, when you go to place your shark on the board, you want to make sure that a lot of the body is resting on the wood. That's where I'm going to attach the shark. So the tail can come up off the board a little bit, and the head can come off a little bit, but the rest of the body should make contact with the board. And that's basically your shark, which is done. Now, your board, what you can do is you can decorate this board any way you want. The only thing I wouldn't use on this is an oil-based paint or marker, or I wouldn't go with anything waxy, so I wouldn't use crayons. So if you have markers, if you have some acrylic paint, anything that's water-based, you can use that to decorate. Now remember, your shark does have to go on there, so if you're drawing something right at the center, it's going to be hidden by the body of the shark, like so. Now, if you want, I can paint it for you, but I would just paint it in a basic blue color with a black edging on it. And so if that's something that you would want me to do, I can do that. If you want to do that, you can do that. But if you wanted to add, I don't know, seaweed or other little fish swimming around, you can do that. You could be as creative as you want. And then when you're all done with both of these pieces, then you're going to take your shark, wrap him up in a plastic bag so he doesn't completely dry out, and you're going to return the shark and the plaque back to the art center, and I will fire the shark, I will glaze the shark, and I will mount the shark onto your board. And you just have to remember to put your name on the back of your board, and you might want to write your name on the inside of the shark so that I know that it's yours. And you'll return it with the paperwork that you'll be getting, and after it's all finished up, I give you a call and you can come and pick up your mounted shark. So good luck. I know you can do it, and I'll see you later.